Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition. This is Thursday, and this is Interesting Ideas. As one of my good friends pointed out, well, sometimes they're not very interesting, at least to me, but many times they're inspiring and instructing, so I guess that's helpful too. Well, maybe that's a part of what we will do today. First of all, just maybe something that is not inspiring, but maybe instructing. Something to think about, and maybe we can do something better next time. And then I have a lighter touch. I want to talk about a song story and why a song story is very important. So that's the agenda for this busy Thursday. Remember, this could be a turbulent day. It oftentimes is, but we get through it so that we can make it Friday is future day. So, Interesting Ideas. The program begins right now. Again, there's more and more news that comes out about the 4th of July shooting that took place in Chicago, Illinois. And of course, it has so many mixed feelings about this. First of all, the Chicago land itself actually had 10 people who lost their lives in the gangland shootings that take place almost every weekend in Chicago. They aren't mentioned nearly as much, and in fact, they've almost become routine. And why is that so? What is wrong that those shootings are there, and it's just there? And of course, the shooting that took place the 4th of July inspires more attention. Well, there are a variety of reasons for that, and I'm not condemning that in any particular way. It certainly needs to be a matter of instruction. However, the sad thing is that we are now learning, first of all, that probably the shooting in Uvalde, in which those students were killed, probably could have been avoided. If the leaders had just taken some right and some bold steps, the young shooter probably could have been taken down or taken out long before he did any particular damage to the teachers and the students involved. What might have been. And I couldn't help but think, I wonder, the story of this young man, again, is he a man? No, he's not a man. That's part of the problem. He's a boy. He's something else. He's not what we mean by a man. And there he goes. But I couldn't help but think, what if perhaps somebody in that audience, some calm man probably, who was carrying a gun, all of a sudden realized what was happening, spotted where those shots were coming from, and he was loaded up. If he could have calmly jumped down, found cover, and then started taking pot shots at the shooter. Being that the young boy was a coward, for sure, I wonder if that would have stopped something. I don't know. But I just wonder. I've oftentimes have thought, most of these guys don't go into places where they know that somebody might be carrying another gun. Well, those are just thoughts about the fact that, as I pointed out, when we come up with solutions, oftentimes the political solutions are illusions. Most of the laws that we make to try and regulate human behavior, it's illegal to have drugs. Well, that doesn't seem to stop the illegal drugs. Could it be that the root cause of all of our things are deeper? And as you obviously know from my presentation yesterday, I think every situation essentially has, if it is a problem, a significant problem, there's something of a spiritual root, a humanity or non-humanity root to all the problems there. Somebody is not acting properly. They are not acting in line with the spirit of the universe. And then bad things happen. and bad things happen all the time. Of course, we've got stories that illustrate that, both in legend and lore, and of course in the sacred scriptures that most religions, mature religions, have, that describe who we are and what we do, and perhaps how we can be rescued from that situation. But that was just a few minutes of 5 minutes of thought about that. But I want to turn to a little happier note, because I think it's something that we can talk about, or at least you can think about today as you try and figure out how to get through Thursday and be ready for hopefully Friday and a good weekend. By the way, I also want to thank those of you who may have prayed for my wife, who a week ago today, it turned out not only did she have heart surgery, but it turned out to be a major operation. And it was pretty significant. But she now has been a week, and the recovery has been difficult, but she's doing much better. And it seems like the surgery, and you never know for sure, as a doctor will say, is right now it looks good. But now it looks not only good, it looks better, and it looks like it's going to have been successful to deal with her heart situation. So I am very grateful for that. Oftentimes we talk about a God thing, but the real truth is almost everything is a God thing, in the fact that maybe it's a blessing, or maybe it's an obstacle, and we're going to see how we handle it. So maybe they all can be those kind of things. One time I did an article about a good song, and many people responded to it. Well, I went back into my archives, and I found another article about song stories. Now, to show you how timeless things can be, what I'm doing today is something I actually wrote and probably produced about 18 years ago. But I keep all that stuff, and it turned out that it's pretty good. At least I think so. So I thought maybe I'd share it with you today. So let me just go. A number of you responded to my post about what makes for a good song. Now, and many of you even took a crack at answering some of the life direction questions about songs in your life. You know, what is your song? What's your favorite song? What song do you want to have at your memorial service? Perhaps at your reception, after your memorial service. What song do you want them to play and someone smiles and say, well, that's his song. So what's your song? Think about that. Take time to reflect on important questions. And whenever you do that, it'll always pay some dividends. Spiritual, emotional, financial, and it will allow you to live with greater purpose. One of my mentors said, Stan, until you know what your purpose is for the day, don't get up. Wait until you do. Well, I remember this. The other day, a new client who was beginning the coaching experience with me and said, Stan, you really want me to pay attention to some new things, don't you? I smiled. She was getting it. Exactly. Stan, you really want me to pay attention to some new things, don't you? Now, that's what I'm trying to do. And that's why yesterday when I talked about the Jesus entrepreneur experience is that perhaps just looking at the person of Jesus, not just as the religious figure he is, but some new things that we can learn about how a man was very, very successful as an entrepreneur, and how he got his message across, and how in 3 years he essentially changed the world, and the organization and the movement that he started 2,000 years is still going strong. Maybe we could learn something, not just from the religious teachings, but from the entrepreneurial and business building actions that he took. It's a way of looking at an old thing with perhaps new things. So think about that. My good friend Paul Ramseur, he's now just passed away. Miss him deeply. He had a lifetime experience in radio, and I remember he responded to my Good Song article by noting that the American Film Institute named Over the Rainbow as the #1 song out of 100 top movie songs. Are you hearing the music now? There's a part of me that wants to play it, but I want you to hear it now. Is it the lady who sang it? Tell me who that is. All right. Who sang Over the Rainbow? Now, what kind of song is that? It was then that I had realized that two things had come together for me. Kind of a small epiphany of sorts, a new thing. Part of what makes for a good song is that it appeals to the hopes we all have. You see, we were designed for hope. In fact, we are all hardwired for hope. Now that is why we must pay attention to the cynics and the skeptics and the pessimists. The pessimists and the pessimists, and what they can do to us. What can they do? They can kill hope. They can kill hope. So just be aware of them. Be aware of them. A good song says, somewhere dreams come true. And another great song. Oh, I love this song. West Side Story. Somewhere there's a place for us. Somewhere there's a place for us. And you know what? What is true is all of us are living every day, and deep down inside, we're trying to find that somewhere, that someplace. Either in the job we have, or where we live, or in the relationship we're all about, in the entertainment that we seek out. Unfortunately, we usually find substitutes for that place in some of the addictions and negative behavior that keeps us busy and keeps us occupied and keeps us from finding that somewhere place. So, please, right now, in the midst of the mess that is coming, probably a recession is coming. Obviously, we now know that the political people who run our countries, and I'm not impressed by any of them, nor should we be, they're not going to be helpful to us. The governments that are in control of our world right now are not going to help us. Don't put your hope in them. And that's not a political statement. That's just a statement of fact. It's not Republican or Democrat, left or right. That's just the way it is. Pay attention to your hopes and dreams and the places you want to be and the people you want to be. Keep doing that. Find a song of hope. Then perhaps find a coach. That would be vital. Remember, the best have coaches. Whether they're opera stars or whether they're golf players, they have a coach. Then take action to make your good goals a reality, not just chasing a rainbow fantasy. As I often say to clients and friends, press on. Hey, maybe there's a song there. I'm Stan Houston. It's Thursday, and I'm done with some interesting ideas. I have a lot to do today. Hopefully they will be useful things, and that the world will be a little better place because I was in it and trying to do my work today. I oftentimes pray that way, just to make it a good day, in spite of all the things that are going to happen. And I imagine there's going to be a little turbulence. Help me to handle it well, and perhaps I can also be helpful to you. As I say, my life was often given to performance coaching. It's not just life coaching. We're not here to teach you how to live. We're trying to teach you how to perform so that you can find out how to live. So if I can be helpful to you, my client was right. She said, Stan, you really want me to pay attention to some new things, don't you? I'm always looking for new things, and I think I can help you look for some new things, too, that will be good for you. Reach out to me at stanhouston@gmail.com, stanhouston@gmail.com. With any good grace and luck, I'll be back tomorrow. And best and blessings to you this day, and for a few more days to come, maybe even forever. Bye for now.